Well, it's a beautiful morning here, and we're going to go out and do some watercolors. But actually, I have a friend that has come over, and we're going to have a little breakfast first. And what I thought of is the Hasty home fries recipe from my Pop It in the Toaster. This is a lovely recipe. It's really easy. You just put the potatoes and the spices and everything in an oiled pan, and then you broil it for about 10 minutes, and it's very easy, and it's so wonderful. I'm going to serve some fried eggs, I think, with it, and maybe some bacon if if I get a chance to do it. Anyway, the Hasty home fries recipe is on page 85 in my Pop It in the Toaster Oven cookbook, a really handy book to have if you have a toaster oven, and if you don't have a toaster oven, you should get a toaster oven. Okay, I have two medium-sized baking potatoes. They're russets, and I'm just going to be chopping these up fairly finely. You can, if you have a food processor, you can shred them in the food processor. I don't have one, so I'm just going to chop them up like this. Okay, then I also have an onion. I want to make enough for a quarter of a cup, and I want to chop this onion up fairly finely as well. Now in this Hasty home fries recipe in my toaster oven, I'm just recommending a teaspoon of hot sauce and salt and pepper, salt and freshly ground pepper. But in this case, I think I'm just going to change it a little bit. I'm just going to do a half a teaspoon of the following spices. I'm going to do powdered garlic and some paprika, just a variation on the theme. I have a curry powder. I'm going to put about a half a teaspoon of that in. And then from my garden, I have dried some rosemary, and I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of all of those spices in. And then I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. And that's going to be my seasoning mixture that I'm going to toss the potatoes in. So here's my handy dandy 8x8 metal pan. I use this a lot for all kinds of things. Those medium potatoes, they worked out to about 2 cups. And that onion, that's a little bit over a quarter of a cup, but that's going to be fine. And then my spices, they're just going to go on like that. And then I'm going to toss these around, and the oil from the bottom of the pan is going to blend into the potatoes. Okay, so I'm just putting the broil setting on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in for 10 minutes on broil like this, keeping the door open with the tongs, and then in 10 minutes I'm going to toss these around with the tongs and then broil it again for another 10 minutes. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, so I'm just going to, I've got my oven mitt on here, reach in and take this out, put it on the hot pad, and just take the tongs, and these potatoes are just about half done, and now it's up to you if you're making these how browned you want them. So I'm thinking another 10 minutes will be just fine for me. These Hasty home fried potatoes, about 5 more minutes because I like them really well browned. So I'm going to take them out now, and they look really nicely done to my liking. So what I made here is a mushroom and onion omelet, used, I had some onions left over from these potatoes, so I decided to use those. So we're going to have plenty of onions this morning. And here's these beautiful, hasty home fries. Doesn't it look beautiful? And it smells wonderful. So there's a lovely breakfast. Very easy to do. Hasty home fries and omelets as well. And that's a good, hearty breakfast.